They called it a performance issue. That's what her father, my father-in-law, the CEO, said without blinking. "We're letting you go." A sentence so casual it sliced clean through the years I had given that company. My wife sat beside him during the meeting, her arms crossed, her face a blank wall. Not even a flicker of surprise, as if she had known all along. That was the moment I realized I wasn't just being fired, I was being erased. When I got home, she didn't even pretend. She handed me a folded sheet, addresses of homeless shelters. "Now that you're jobless," she said, her voice as flat as the paper, "I don't need you anymore." I stared at her, the woman I thought I'd built a life with, the same woman who once swore she'd stand by me through everything. She couldn't even look me in the eye. I didn't argue, didn't ask why. I just said, "Understood," and walked out. Silence was my weapon, and I've learned that silence cuts deeper than rage. You see, what they didn't know, what no one in that building ever knew, was who I really was. I was never just an employee. I was the architect behind their empire. The systems, the patents, the offshore accounts that kept their money hidden, all of it had my fingerprints. When I married their daughter, they thought I was reaching up. Truth is, I was looking down, watching, learning, waiting. Because even then, I knew power doesn't lie in ownership, it lies in information. And I had plenty. The night she threw me out, I didn't go to a shelter. I went to my other apartment, the one under a different name, paid for by an account no one knew existed. I watched them from a distance. The company celebrated a new chapter. Her father promoted his favorite yes man to my position. My wife posted photos, luxury dinners, champagne smiles, a performance. But beneath their smiles, I saw it. The greed, the arrogance. They thought they'd won. I just needed to let them believe that. For 3 days, I said nothing. But my servers didn't sleep. Every confidential file, every unreported transaction, every bribe her father had authorized, all of it flowed back to me, encrypted, indexed, ready. The beauty of building the system yourself is that you know where the doors are, especially the ones no one else can see. I pulled records of insider trades, false audits, hidden assets, even a few messages between him and board members conspiring to undercut investors. And then there was her, my wife. Emails showing she'd be meeting with legal advisors months before I was fired. She'd planned the divorce before I even lost my job. The performance issue was their cover story. I spent the next week planning my exit, not just from her, from their entire world. First, I transferred my shares quietly into a trust, under her father's own name. Then I triggered the system, an internal audit request sent anonymously to the company's biggest investors and government oversight committees. They thought I was gone, but my ghost still haunted their network. When the audit hit, it hit hard. Overnight, headlines exploded. CEO under investigation for financial misconduct. Insider trading probe targets top executives. And my wife, the perfect trophy daughter, was subpoenaed. Turns out, being married to the man who designed the system made her a liability. 2 days later, she called. Then her father. Once, twice. By the 164th call, I stopped counting. They begged, they threatened, then begged again. But I had nothing left to say. Because the truth was already speaking for me. In every document, every leaked email, every transaction log that tied their names to their crimes. The company's stock crashed. The father resigned in disgrace. Assets frozen. Reputation shredded. And her? She lost everything that money could buy, which, as it turns out, was all she ever had. The last message she sent me read, "Please, we can fix this. Just tell me where you are." I didn't reply. I was sitting on a beach halfway across the world, watching the sun rise, the color of molten gold over calm water. The same color as the company's logo I once designed. Funny how symbols outlive the people who think they own them. You might think I did it for revenge, but you'd be wrong. Revenge is loud. It craves recognition. What I did was quieter, cleaner. I simply gave them what they built, a system that rewards greed and devours itself when the greed gets too big. I just stopped protecting them. When you take everything from a man, remember, you also take the fear of losing. And a man without fear is dangerous, unstoppable. I didn't ruin them. They did. I just handed them the mirror. Now, when people speak my name in those circles, they whisper. They don't know where I went, or what I'll do next, and I like it that way. Because silence, once again, is my weapon, and it's still cutting.